Hi, I am here today to talk about grief. It is September 2nd, 2024. Yesterday, September 1st, was the 10-year anniversary losing my son Joshua. I just wanted to talk about the journey I've been on thus far, and I want to talk to those of you who have lost a child because I'm sure we'll be able to relate to this. So I lost Josh to a car accident in 2014. He and his brother were involved. And he died at the scene, and my other son survived. So that in itself was a whole another thing that we had to deal with was, the survivor, as well as our grief over the loss of his brother, my youngest son. So I am not a person that just sits and waits for things to happen. I'm a doer, I'm a fixer, I'm a problem solver. So when we got home, he I was living in Arizona and my boys were living in Texas at the time. So we had to go to Texas, and then we went to Iowa for a funeral. His father and I grew up in the same town. And then we came back home to Arizona. And then we went to California and had a memorial and an amazing celebration of his life in California with friends and family there. And then I came home. And all that happened over a period of about 2 weeks. And then my older children, my son and my daughter went home, went back to their lives. My husband went back to work. And there I was, alone for the first time. I decided that I need to find ways to heal from the grief. That I couldn't just sit and cry all day in, day out, wake up in the middle of the night, not be able to sleep. So I started searching, and I found support groups on Facebook. They were amazing, so helpful because they're there 24/7. There's always someone there to talk to share how you're feeling, that understands what you're going through because they're going through the same thing or they've gone through it. So the support groups were really, really helpful. I also sought out support groups in person. I went to Grief Share. Really didn't resonate with it because I'm not real religious. I'm very spiritual. I have a very strong faith and belief, but I am not into organized religion. And a lot of the people there were older, had lost a spouse or a sibling, and really didn't relate to losing a child. And then I tried Compassionate Friends. And again, just the meeting that I went to, I only went to one. I just didn't feel it was helpful for me in my journey. I started, I found Oracle cards, which I had never used Oracle cards. I never even thought about having mediumship readings, none of that. But for some reason, I was drawn. The first deck I picked was the Talking to Heaven. At the time, it was Doreen Virtue and James Van Praagh. Doreen has since denounced everything New Age, so now they're just James Van Praagh. So I started reading Oracle cards and drawing cards, messages for me from my son. I started learning about signs, watching for signs for our loved ones. I started seeing feathers, black feathers, because my son thought black was a color and that's all he ever wore. I started to learn about Reiki and energy work and essential oils and meditation and just everything that could help me to heal, that could help me to connect with my son, that could help me to stop crying every single day. And I slowly started to heal, slowly started to not wake up in the middle of the night, not be able to get back to sleep. I remember one experience I was up, it was probably 3 in the morning, and you wake up and your mind starts going, you start thinking of your child, and I just could not get back to sleep. So I was sitting at my computer and I was probably looking at one of the support groups, and I could feel I had my hair up in a ponytail, and I felt somebody on my neck. And then I heard a giggle, and I knew it was Josh because he used to try to sneak up on you and he never could. But I knew in my gut that it was my son. I had another experience where I was sitting there crying again in the middle of the night, and I felt both him and my grandmother just wrap me, and I just felt so loved. They were on each side of me, just holding me through my grief. And I just I started to heal. I had mediumship readings. I met an amazing woman who I've since become good friends with. Her name's Cindy St. John. And she gave me a reading in person and she made me a believer. And she told me that it was Josh's purpose to die young, that he only came to this earth for a short time, and his purpose was to give me the choice to go on the path that I decided to go on or not. And that my purpose is to help other parents who have lost a child to heal. So I started healing. I took a retreat with an amazing lady, Courtney Fay Long, activating your intuitive gifts. And I started opening up and was able to connect with him myself. I had visitations from him in meditations, conversations with him in dreams. It was just amazing that I did not have to seek out a medium to get messages from my son if I didn't want to. Another medium that I believe my son connected us is Christopher Mendez. He's phenomenal. He was on Facebook doing live readings, and I was not friends with him, had never heard of him. I opened up my Facebook and there he is doing readings, and I asked for a message from my son Josh, and I was blown away by what he told me within just a few minutes. He and I have become friends also, and he has since given me some wonderful messages from my son. The other is the oracle card. So in the beginning, I needed to connect to Josh a lot, as I'm sure many of you who have lost your child can understand. So I would just ask the cards for a message from Joshua, and I've got a jumper, and this is, I'm here helping you, which he is. He's here to work with me to help other parents who are suffering loss of a child. And then you can't make this stuff up, I tell you. And this was the very first card I got from this child, was I had to leave that way in a car crash. I actually got an attachment not long after I lost Josh, and I went to Jeanette St. Germain to help remove it. And she told me that when Josh died, when he left his body, that his spirit was very clear and that was not normal for people who have died suddenly in a car accident, which just confirmed to me that it was his time to go. and then receiving this message. And again, getting it now, just now. I mean, I shuffled the cards, I had them face up, and this card's on top. Oracle cards are a great way to get messages from your loved ones. There's all kinds of oracle cards. I personally really resonate with the talking to heaven. And you can also, if you just don't trust your intuition, then there's always, let's see, I had to leave. So please don't relive my death in your mind. As from my perspective, it was very different from how you imagined. To me, it was like a dream that culminated in a very happy ending. Yes, I was so sad to leave you, our loved ones, and our life together. But I have to be honest and say that I'm truly happy here. My soul is so enriched by all that I'm learning, and I'm still able to be with and help you. I am finally free of all earthly suffering, which allows me to love you even more than before. My life plan was designed with divine wisdom, and that included the timing and the way in which I exited. It is the same with your life and everyone else's. Exciting to finally know these truths and to share them with you. Please know that I am truly sorry that the mode of my passing brought pain to you, and yet everything happened exactly as it was supposed to happen. You couldn't have stopped it or changed anything. There was no other way. So that just helps, I think, to reinforce what the cards say. There's other decks. John Holland is another medium. He has the Spirit Messages deck. James Van Prague has another deck, Messages from the Guides. I also have Healing Grief by David Kessler. He wrote a lot of books on grief. And Sonia Coquette, Ask Your Guides, which this isn't necessarily loved ones that passed on, but I believe my son is also a guide. And then I also have a woman that I met through doTERRA, actually, who lost her son because of Josiah, and she wrote this book, and she created the Sacred Alchemy deck. So her name is Raina Irene. So there's all kinds of decks that you can choose to do oracle card readings to get messages for your loved ones. You can seek out a medium. I mean, there's just all kinds of ways, but we all are intuitive. We all have it inside of us to connect with our children if we open up to it. Oh, my husband and I were talking just today about Josh, and this has been a tough one for me. The 10-year, I'm normally okay. I have found a way to live with the loss. I've found joy in my life. I'm happy. But I've been thinking a lot about him, about 10 years, about, what if he'd been married? He would be 35, September 29th. All those thoughts hitting me. And then last night at 10 o'clock, I opened up my Facebook and it hit me. Oh my God, it's September 1st. I did not realize it was September 1st. 10 years ago was when I got the phone call that changed my life. It told me from my son that they'd been in a car accident. He didn't know at the time that Josh was not going to survive. And while we're talking, I looked down at my phone. And if you know angel numbers, 1111 popped up, and that's a picture of me with my boys. This is Josh over here, and this is Jim. 1111. My angels, my guides, my angels are with me. It's just a message that he's with me. One, actually, in angel numerology is magical manifestation, which, I'm manifesting him being around me. So I discovered that my purpose was to help other parents to learn how to move through their grief. And I started to search for ways to learn how to do that. And I found early 2015, I found SWIHA, which is the holistic school here in Tempe, Arizona, and it's Southwest Institute of Healing Arts. And I wanted to go there really bad. But I also had started in my early 20s to go to college, and I was never able to finish. I had to drop out to go to work to take care of my family. And so I was learning to use pendulum, so I got my pendulum out and I asked if I should go to SWIHA or if I should go to the community college. And I wanted to go to SWIHA really bad. You have no idea how bad I wanted to go. And it said MCC, the community college. I'm like, but I really want to go to SWIHA. But I honored that. And so for 2 years, I took a couple classes a semester and at the community college. And then in 2017, I, for some reason, decided it was time to go to SWIHA. I think enough time had passed that I was somewhat healed and I wasn't going to be a blubbering mess in every single class. And I was able to go, and even more healing happened for me. I took the life coaching certificate. I did the mind body wellness. I did a year-long program. And my certificates were life coaching, intuitive guidance, and holistic nutrition. The intuitive guidance helped me to open up even more to become a better angel card reader. And the life coaching began my journey on learning how to coach people to move through their grief. I was still working full time and I didn't have a lot of confidence yet. I dabbled with, I created a website and I created a Facebook page and I kind of dabbled, but I didn't really put a lot of consistency into it. And eventually the lack of confidence overtook to the point where this year, 2024, last March, I decided that I was going to just put the coaching on the back burner and see what the universe had for me. And I was going to do angel card readings because I'm comfortable with them. I've been doing them for over 8 years. The universe had different ideas. A young lady who I had reached out to 3 years ago when she lost her baby and offered to do coaching with her texted me and said, I'm ready if you are. And so I pushed through the fear. I pushed through the lack of self-confidence. And I said, okay, let's do this. An amazing journey for me. I hope it has her too. She has learned a lot of coping mechanisms to help her. I believe she's gotten a lot of self-awareness. She's been able to move through the grief and has come out the other side better for the coaching. So I'm here now sharing all this so that you can get to know me, you can get to know what I'm all about, my story. And if you are ready to start healing from your grief, if you're ready to start walking through your journey, if you're stuck, if you want to learn ways to heal, I can help you with all this. I can coach you through it and I can offer resources. I have free courses available teaching you different things to help you to heal. So if you're interested, go to my website, TammyGamester.com. Here is my name if you don't know how to spell it. Schedule a discovery call and let's chat and let me tell you what the coaching is all about. And if you're ready to start healing, then go to my website and let's schedule a coaching call and let's get started. I hope you all have a blessed day. I hope this has maybe helped somebody that was struggling. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. It's a bit of a roller coaster. This has not been all smooth sailing for me. Year 4, I had a really, really tough time. And yesterday, it's been a bit of a challenge for me. But I know that I have the tools I need. I actually was pretty weepy before I started, and I put on some essential oils, and it helped to really calm me down. And it helped me to move through those emotions to where I can sit here and talk to you without crying. So I hope this helped you. If you want to work with me, please go to my website, tammygamester.com, and let's chat. Love you.